The Forbidden City, a place so grand, so exclusive, and so ridiculously opulent that it might as well have been history's fanciest VIP club. But who was actually forbidden? And what's the deal with the legendary 9,999 rooms? Let's dive in. Back in the early 15th century, the Ming dynasty's Yongle emperor took one look at Nanjing and thought, not imperial enough. So in 1406, he ordered the construction of a brand new palace in Beijing. But this wasn't just about a bigger, fancier home. Oh no, this was feng shui-approved imperial destiny at work. His advisors claimed that Beijing had an area called Xinglongjidi, literally, the land where the dragon thrives. And since dragons equal emperors in Chinese symbolism, this spot was basically pre-approved by the universe for imperial greatness. Build the palace here, and the Ming dynasty would reign supreme for centuries. Spoiler, it lasted until the Qing dynasty took over in 1644, but hey, it was a solid run. The name Zhijin Cheng, literally Purple Forbidden City, sounds poetic, but let's break it down. Zhi, purple no, the palace isn't actually purple. The name comes from Zhui Xing, also known as the Purple Star, Polaris, which the Chinese believed was the celestial home of the Jade Emperor, the ruler of heaven. Since then, purple became the color of emperors and nobility, symbolizing divine authority. The emperor, as this son of heaven, naturally had to build his earthly palace as a reflection of this cosmic order. Jin, forbidden, was a big flashing no-entry sign for commoners. Only royals, high officials, and those with a very good excuse were allowed in. Even high-ranking officials had to watch their step. And let's not forget the concubines. Once they entered, well, they weren't exactly booking a return trip. Here's the wild part. The Forbidden City is the largest wooden palace complex in the world that still stands today. No concrete, no steel, and not a single nail holding it together. Instead, Ming dynasty builders used intricate wooden joints, a genius engineering technique that allowed the palace to flex and absorb shock during earthquakes. Which is why, despite countless wars, fires, and natural disasters, this wooden masterpiece is still standing 600+ years later. You think modern construction projects are wild? Try this. The Forbidden City required 1 million laborers, including 100,000 skilled artisans. The primary building material? Gold and Nanmu wood from Sichuan and Yunnan, massive logs that had to be transported over rivers, mountains, and treacherous roads. Then there was the stone. Giant slabs weighing up to 220 tons were dragged over frozen roads using water poured in winter to create an ice highway. Honestly, the Ming dynasty really said, "Physics, we got this." And if that wasn't enough, it sits in the exact geographical center of Beijing. Every road in the capital was built outward from the Forbidden City, reinforcing that this was the literal and symbolic heart of China. Now, let's bust this legendary number. The rumor goes that the Forbidden City had 9,999 rooms because the Jade Emperor, China's celestial big boss, lived in a heavenly palace with 10,000 rooms, and no earthly emperor could outshine him. While poetic, this is historically inaccurate. The real number? More like 8,704 rooms, which is still a lot. And fun fact, a room wasn't counted by modern standards, but by counting every space enclosed by 4 pillars. So yeah, creative accounting at its finest. Contrary to what you might think, the Forbidden City didn't mean no one could enter. It just meant that access was severely restricted. Only the emperor, his family, high-ranking officials, and selected servants could roam freely. Commoners? Forget about it. Even high-ranking officials had limited access. And let's not even start on palace women. Once inside, many of them never left unless they were being escorted out in a coffin. Harsh. After standing as China's imperial HQ for nearly 500 years, from the Ming to the Qing dynasty, the Forbidden City ceased to be a ruling palace in 1912 when the last emperor, Huai, was dethroned. Today, it's the Palace Museum, a place where tourists finally get a peek at what was once the most exclusive real estate on Earth. So, did it really have 9,999 rooms? Not quite. Was it the epitome of imperial grandeur and exclusivity? Absolutely. And if you ever visit, just remember, once upon a time, stepping foot inside without permission would have been a very bad idea.